welcome back to my channel. It's time for your daily dose of melanin. As you can see, things look a little bit different. I got a new little aesthetic. We got the break, we got the chairs, we got the candle.
Whole vibe.
We got the friend. Like, we do something different. So before we jump into today, I want y'all to, subscribe, like, comment, all that. And make sure you watch till the end because I got some tea. Your girl started a new, you know what? It's okay. Watch till the end and you'll hear about it. Anywho, I really wanted to talk about a reflection. So a few months ago, I posted my reflection after going through my first year of medical school. And no, I didn't finish my second year, but we are at a pivotal point. And I'll explain more later. But until then, I have my friend Araba, so she will introduce herself. And we're going to get into it.
Hi guys, my name is Araba, and I am a second year PhD student at Howard University, HU, the real HU, period. But I'm currently studying African Studies, and yeah, I'm actually a teacher. That's my full-time job. But my ultimate goal is to get this degree, dip, and become a professor. So, we're speaking good things into existence over here.
Manifesting it.
Yeah,
Manifesting
period.
Alright, you guys, so I just want y'all to know I have my notes here, so I'm gonna look down so I can give y'all all the correct tea and everything like that. But basically this video is gonna be us reflecting at this point. So we're both 2 years into our doctoral programs, and even though I'm in med school and she's doing a PhD, I feel like it's important that you guys are aware that there are things that you would endure during the journey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And if you're wondering why I'm doing it now, even though I'm not done my second year, I told y'all, for those of y'all who watched videos before, and if you didn't, watch a video, that my med school does a year and a half of textbook, like doing lectures and test type work, so pre-clerkship. And then after the year and a half, we're going to go into the hospitals and do rotations. So, this is, the end of this portion of school. So, I just wanted to reflect on things that I've learned in these past 6 months. And I'm warning y'all, most of mine is a lot of room for improvement. Mm-hmm. So, Araba, if you could tell me one word that would describe your experience in your PhD program right now, what would it be?
This might sound hard to believe, but it's been wonderful.
What?
I know a lot of people stigmatize the whole PhD experience and say it's the hardest thing that you'll ever do. I think there's only 2% of the population that has their PhD. However, because I'm so passionate about what I'm studying, it's just been an amazing experience. Now there has been some downsides to the whole thing, but that's not getting the degree in itself. It's the outside noise that surrounds it. So financial aid and making sure I have funding for school and just getting the right help from the right people to kind of walk me through this journey. I think that's what's kind of made the experience a little bit shaky, but overall I could say I've loved my time at Howard. I loved getting my degree, so.
That was not the words I expected to come out of her mouth. But it's okay. My word would be recalculating.
Oh.
And
that's an interesting word.
Yeah, it's interesting because I thought about, when you have your GPS and you miss a turn and it's calculating route. That's how I feel my journey thus far has been. It's I think I'm going one way and it's nope. Let's take that back and let's try recalibrate.
Recenter.
Right, let's try again. So can you tell me about something that you have learned throughout your experience, whether it's about yourself, something that surprised you maybe, areas for improvement, something you love?
I learned that I'm smarter than I think I am.
Right. And
I'll tell you this, right? Because when I first pulled up to my program, my first class ever, it was such a weird experience because I'm used to being the smartest one in the room. Usually I'm on it, you know what I'm saying? I've throughout my graduate experience, I've never gotten bad grades. I've always participated. I've always had something to contribute. Mm-hmm. But you know, being in a PhD program, you're like you're in a class with like some of the smartest people in the world.
Right.
And so my first class, I remember our class discussion, I felt so stupid. I felt like, wow, these people are brilliant. Just the answers that they were giving and the discussions that were being facilitated, they were just so top tier that I'm just like looking at myself like, do I deserve to be here? So, you know, that's kind of one thing that I had to reassure myself and remind myself I'm here for a reason. Like, I wouldn't be able to make it here if I wasn't just as smart as these people.
No.
So.
I feel that, and like to jump on that, one of the things I learned, actually I learned this from a sermon that I watched like 2 weeks ago from Pastor Mike Ty. Shout out to you.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, y'all. Watch him every time. But he made this statement, and I think it just applies so well that for me, I had a similar feeling of like, do I belong here? Like, these people are so smart. Like, what is happening? And I kind of talked about that in my previous video. But along with that, I've had some like failures, you know? And Pastor Todd said this statement that failure is an event, not a person.
Ooh.
Let me repeat that for y'all. Let me
run that back.
So failure is an event, not a person. So like, you may fail at something, right? But you're not a failure.
You're not a failure. I like that.
And that, even though I heard that like maybe 2 weeks ago, that was something that kind of applies where, especially in med school, kudos to you if you doing it and you just flying colors, no effort, like kudos.
Everything's just perfect, peachy cream.
That's not my testimony. That's not my purpose. That's not my story. It's not my calling. So that wasn't my story, and I had to like reassure myself, like, okay, no, you about it. You're good. And then I think the other thing that I realized was that I had to be brave enough to ask for help and admit when I need help. Because I think I've gone through school a lot, or most of my life, where it's like I can do it on my own, I can figure it out on my own, where I don't want to go. I don't know if you can relate to that at all, but it's like, I'll figure it out, I'll do whatever it takes to figure it out. But having to actually go to someone and be like, I can't figure this out.
I know. I think, and just to add on to what you said, I feel like because we've been so successful and we're in the stages that we're in, I feel like we almost feel as though we shouldn't have to ask for help because we've gotten to like these amazing places. So shouldn't we have it all figured out?
That's valid.
You know? But I completely relate to what you just said, and I think that's one of the things that we kind of have to get over and understand that, like, yo, not everyone has it together. Like, not everyone has it together, and I think what makes you such a dope person is that, you know, you can admit, right? You can admit, like, yo, honestly, I don't have my ish together, but I'm still the bomb.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, I've never told you this before, but, like, she's younger than me, for those of you who don't know. But I sometimes, in my head, she's, like, an older sister, because she be giving me advice that I should already know, but I've, like, learned things from her, so just a, you know, a little tidbit.
About to start a business, y'all. Come to the advice. Mo Vice 101. But continue.
But yeah, like, I think my advice to like women who are going for professional degrees, don't be afraid to say that you need help. Like, we don't all have it figured out. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's in med school, I'm in my PhD program, and yes, that's commendable. And that means that we're smart, clearly, but at the same time, you're gonna need help and you're gonna need someone to lean on. And there's nothing wrong with seeking resources or outside help or mentorship even, you know? So that's just mine.
And to add on to that, something that I kind of came across last night was that being specific about what you need help with. So knowing what support looks like to you, that's something that I've learned within the past 3 months. I've learned that actually. Because I always ask people, like, what do you need from me in a situation? Like, oh, if you're dealing with something, what do you need from me? But I realized I never took the time to, like, take inventory for myself. Like, what does that look like for me? What do I need help with? If someone asks me, how can I help you? I'm like, Cash App, but y'all could do that too.
Hello.
But I was just like,
Christmas coming up.
you know, every day's a holiday if you want to send me whatever. Anywho, I digress. But I never took that time to take the inventory of, okay, this is what I need. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, relating it to school, if you go to your counselor, your whoever is there to help guide you, and you just go, I need help, like, how can they help you? Mm-hmm. That's putting too much of a burden on them to figure out what's wrong with you. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you come and say, I need help with X, Y, Z, da 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 da, you're giving them the opportunity to say, no, I can't do that, or yes, I can do this, or this is where you need to go to get that done.
Yeah. And also, like, I think one thing that's been interesting in my experience is, like, thank God I go to a school where I feel like everyone is willing to help. Like, everyone is willing to put in their weight, and having the right people around you is important as well. Like, not even just school counselors, because school counselors are mandated to do their job. Some of them might not do their job effectively, but having the right people around you, you need good people in your corner, period. So I think that has to go along with that. It's just like, you can make it known for how you want to be supported, but if they're not good people, then they can't support you in the best way possible.
And some people don't want to support you, so you just gotta take that inventory, get that discernment between who's in your corner, who is behind you, and who's on the offensive team. You just gotta look at me using sports analogies. I don't know nothing about sports.
Squat.
That's a diddly squat. So look at me, I'm proud of myself. What's something else that you would say that you learned?
Oh,
I'm gonna say for you, procrastination. This girl procrastinates.
Listen, I am bad for procrastination. Like, something about doing a paper on time, it doesn't register with me. Like, don't get me wrong, I get my stuff done before it's due, and I do well.
Sis gets straight A's on her paper. Like, I don't understand. I don't comprehend it.
I'm literally infamous for doing a 20-page paper the night before, and somehow can pull an A and have my professors wanting to publish my work. Don't understand it. I'm not going to advise that. I'm not going to advise that to anybody because it's a skill.
It really is. We're not advocating for procrastination, even though it's something that we probably all do, because I do.
Don't do. If you have the time, utilize it, please. Please.
But it's funny because, like, going back to with the failure situation, it's like, if we're in doctoral programs. Like, if we got this far, we procrastinated. It's kind of like, if this works for you, I'm gonna keep doing it.
No, we can't be saying that. Don't listen to us, guys, please.
I'm being honest though. I'm sorry, but that's not advocating. We're reflecting, guys. We're just reflecting here together in this space.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a chance to actually say whatever yours is.
Okay. Something else that I've learned. That's the question.
Yes.
I've learned that it's okay for you to second guess yourself, because I'm gonna be very honest. Okay, before I went to my PhD program, I was actually on track to go to law school. I thought I was going to be a lawyer, right? And then, it didn't work out that way. Cool, whatever. I got into my PhD program and everything was going good, but I was comparing myself to, like, my peers. I was seeing that everyone was working, they had a full-time job, and I realized, like, I'm going to be in school for a long time. Like, PhD programs are not, like, 1 year and that's it. They're a couple of years, you know what I'm saying? And I already got my bachelor's, my master's, and now my PhD. I feel like I've been in school for, like, all my life. I have.
Yeah.
I have. So at one point I was really second guessing, like, is this what I want to do? And even just looking at the people in my program, they were just doing so many different things. Like, with the degree that I'm going for, like, some people do academia. They go on to join the academy and teach at Research One universities, and they really contribute to the larger body of work. But other people do advocacy work. Other people go on to do, like, other professional degrees. So it's like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to be a professor and teach, and continue some of the legacies that I've seen some of my own mentors established, but at the same time, it's just like, what if I fail? You know what I'm saying? So that's been one thing that I've learned is like, it's okay to second guess yourself. Like, you'll never be sure of where you're going until you kind of like explore the field and kind of like have those moments of doubt.
No, it's so funny because that actually relates to what mine is. That it's okay to have doubt, and it's okay to sometimes be angry at the situation you're in. There are going to be pros and cons to any program, any school, anything. There's going to be greats. There's going to be this is trash. And sometimes it's those doubts, those moments, those I'm upset at this, I don't like this, that forces you to explore new fields. Like, I know for me, before I was like, I'm about to just be a doctor, feel me? Like, I'm about to check into the hospital.
And that's what it is.
I'm gonna go home, be in Bora Bora. Y'all know I like vacations, so I'm gonna be out here, I'm gonna be over there, and that's it. But my experience thus far in medical school has made me now reevaluate that. Like, before, I never wanted to start my own business. I never wanted to work from home. I've never wanted to do anything like that. But now I'm actually exploring that, considering that. Not saying I'm necessarily do one or the other, but now it's an option for me. So it's okay to be in situations where you're like, I don't know about this. Like, I thought I saw this, but
something that's been thrown in the mix now.
Right now, it's as clear as mud, as they always say in med school. And then
as clear as mud. Wait, what? I just caught that.
No, that's something that they say in med school. Like, they'll be like, does that make sense to you? No, it's clear as mud, because like you still can't see that they don't make sense. But yeah,
gotcha. 2020 in a nutshell.
As clear as mud, literally.
Clear as mud.
And then I think one of the last things that, or this question will be more of like something that you struggled with thus far. I'll give you a second to think about it. But one thing with me, I've never struggled with anxiety before. Like, I never felt that way with school. School was always something that came natural to me. Never had the feeling of being anxious, overwhelmed, like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what I'm doing, and that was hard. That was hard. And I'm going to throw a quote in here to show you how that helped me. That your perspective is either your passport or your prison. So the way that you pass the time, plug in right here again. The way that
you gems.
He
like, wow. Okay.
The way that you frame the situation is how you look at it. Like, depending on the frame, you could zoom in, you could be focusing on the wrong thing, and that affects your mental space. So that's something that I struggle with.
Something I struggled with is accepting that not everything will be done on your timeline. Like, me personally, I'm quick.
We from New York, I guess. I don't know if y'all know that, but we from New York.
Walk fast, talk fast, do everything fast. And so my perception going into my program was, I'm not going to be here past 3 years. I met with some of the older students in my degree, in my program, and a lot of them had been in the program for 4, 5, going on 6. And then at that point, I was just like, yeah, still not gonna be me. Until life hit me, and I'm just like, there's a possibility, I'm not gonna speak it into existence, but there's a possibility that I'm not gonna finish in the 3 years that I wanted to finish in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm still kind of battling with this concept of, you know, yeah, you have a timeline, that's cute, but there's something else in store for you. If you're not going to finish your program in 3, you might have to finish it in 5, like, realistically speaking.
Right. And
so that's one of the things that I'm just like coming to terms with, is like, there's not enough time in a day. There's just not. And so you might have to stretch things out, to be honest, and that's okay. Like, I'm not like a super senior. I'm not going to be a super senior. You know, even if I have to take a little extra time, that doesn't mean like I failed. That just means like, yo, life is happening, period. You know?
No, that's facts. I think, and I love organizing things. Like, I have planners. I literally just bought a planner for Black Friday, and it made me so happy to start writing in it. Like, I didn't have anything to write in it yet, so I just wrote people's birthdays, like, randomly throughout the calendar, and it made me happy. But that's me being weird. Anywho. But yeah, I've also had to learn to be more flexible and like more able to be like water and just go with the flow. It's very hard, especially for people who are type A and like organized and want to plan ahead and like this is how it's going to go. Very difficult. But just wrapping up, final question. So I know a lot of people usually say, if you could talk to your younger self, what would you tell yourself? We're not doing that. I don't want to do that.
So cliche.
If that's for you, that's fine. But no. My question is, what did someone tell you about going on this journey, if anything, that you just didn't listen to? Or like you blatantly ignored it, you were like, yeah, whatever, and then you realized that was valid?
I would say for me, it's that I don't know. Because I feel like I've been told so many mixed things before. And some of the things I have experienced, but some of the things I haven't, or I guess I'm still waiting to experience. I guess I will say, like, I had a professor that told me, like, during your PhD program, you are going to be tested to points that, like, you may never recover from. And so I will say I've had a moment like that before. I'm not going to speak on it because it's a little bit personal. But I was just like, yo, I can recover from anything. Like, there's nothing that can be thrown my way that I'm not going to bounce back from. You know what I'm saying? But I think there was a moment where, like, I was just like, oh my goodness, like, this is a lot. This is heavy.
Like, ooh, hold on.
And I'm still recovering. And so, yeah, just me just thinking I know it all. I'm just like, yo, y'all can't tell me nothing that I'm not gonna be able to get through. And I'm pretty sure, because I'm still early in my program, so I'm pretty sure there's gonna be other moments where it's gonna like test me to certain breaking points, especially when I get into my dissertation writing and then have to go up for defense. Like, I don't even want to think about that right now.
That's negativity. Let's not talk about
negativity.
No.
But I'm pretty sure going into that chapter, it's gonna be rough. You know what I'm saying? So.
Mine actually it wasn't specific to med school, but I had my like academic advisor in college. She was amazing. She told all of us, she was like, at some point you're gonna hit a wall. And I was like, I don't know what she means. She was like, at some point you're gonna, because I was also in a scholarship program in college, as some of you know. And she was like, you guys are smart. And at some point you're gonna hit a class that is just gonna beat you. Like, it's just gonna smack you, hurt your face, break your nose. I'm like, yeah, okay, sis. And then she said, she was like, it may not be this year, it may not even be in college, but you might graduate college, and the next thing you do, you're gonna experience that wall, and you're gonna call me. And I haven't called her yet, but I know what she's talking about. I was like, yeah, whatever. Since I went through all of college, I was like, what is she talking about? Like, I got into med school, like, we live in life. Yeah, I hit it. I broke
my goodness,
I broke a nose. I did it.
So how was that like for you when you hit that wall? Like, what did it show you about yourself?
At first, if I'm being honest, it showed me that I felt as though I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. And I had this, like, sense that I felt like I was weak, especially because other people around me weren't also hitting that wall, or they weren't talking about hitting that wall. So I felt like I was just weak and I couldn't handle it, and it was me. And then it kind of showed me that life is always going to have things. No matter what, it's going to be things. Yeah. And we just have to be resilient. And then it also showed me that there's people in my corner, and it showed me my coping mechanisms that I didn't know that I had. Like, I learned that I tend to shut down when things get hard, and I didn't know that about myself. Okay. And so that's something that I have to be intentional and actively work on. Like,
so you're still learning things about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
No, but that's what you want, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Like, school can't just be like us going to learn what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. It should be about self-discovery.
Yeah.
You know?
It's annoying, though, because sometimes you be like, yo, I'm there.
I just had another answer to the question that you asked.
Yes.
And so I've also been told in the past that, like, there's going to be some people who are not going to, I don't want to say that they don't want the best for you, but they're not going to hold your hand through the process, and they're not going to guide you the way that you needed to be guided, right? My expectation was going to this program that, like, yo, my professors, my department chairs, they're all going to be there for me. They're supporting me every step of the way. Bruh. When I tell you, they were like, here you go, bye. Like, and I'm not going to say that they don't support you at all, but, like, there's a lot of independent, it's just me and myself figuring out going on, and that was striking for me because it was just like, I'm so used to just being coddled, number one. But number two, you know, once you get to a certain point in your academic career, you are kind of left alone.
Yeah, it's independent learning.
It's just like you have to fend for yourself. And then, you know, now that I'm in that space, I'm really seeing like, yo, my professors like can only do so much. At the end of the day, they're responsible for teaching a certain number of students and researching and doing, you know, their work. And then they have to be parents and like go home to be wives and husbands and deal with their own lives. So, like, you really have to fend for yourself sometimes.
You gotta advocate for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're your biggest advocate. Like, you know what you need, as we kind of talked about earlier. You know what you need. You know where you're slacking, where you're slipping. And most of it's going to be independent. Not going to lie to you. Most of it you have to figure out yourself. But also knowing, like, there are portions where you may not be able to do yourself, and you have to be intentional and say, okay, I need help right here. And knowing that. So,
yeah.
But thanks, girl, for joining me for this little chit chat. Whatever.
Thanks for asking me to be on.
Let me plug your podcast. Go ahead.
Yes. So I do have a podcast, and it's called Black Speak the Podcast.
Wait, do it.
I can't roll my R's. But you can listen on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Music, and we talk about Black culture, Black politics, Black conversations, Black vibes, you know, just
Blackity black.
Just Black, just us being unapologetically Black, and you know, just talking mess, talking ish with my colored folk.
Alright, y'all, if y'all stay to the end, I told y'all I had some tea for y'all. So I just started a new Instagram. Please show love. It is Daily Dose of .melanin, all one word, Daily Dose of .melanin. I'm going to put in the description box below my Instagram and her podcast, so y'all need to follow. Show some love. That's where y'all get the tea, you know.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Anywho, I don't know what that was. It's like a dying bird, but it's okay. It's okay. She's in a PhD program. It's fine. You know. But also, I just want to let you guys know, for those of you who do follow me on Instagram, I did a giveaway, and it's going to be an annual giveaway. It's called Spread the Melanin. So make sure that you're following me on Instagram. Make sure that you're subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing with your friends, family, all that, so that you could be a part. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed your daily doses.
If you walking.
Bye.